Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Paul Power, Steve Ryan, Cody Bolton. All right. So, guys, let's get right to it. Roomies, you guys have done this in November, in the fall. Now you're bringing it back. Give us a bit of an idea of what this play's all about.
Roomies is about two college roommates in the 1960s, played by myself and Steve Ryan. And it's really an odd couple story. And these two are forced to share a dorm room together. My character, David, is a very scholarly, sheltered student, first time sort of out in the world and trying to, I guess, learn who he is. Character Steve plays Nick, is your James Dean type rebel. Doesn't really consider anybody else as kind of selfish in nature, and the two sort of complement each other. And part of the theme of the play is dealing with having a physical disability, which I, as Paul Power, I have, and so does the character. And the character Nick, Steve plays, his disability is more of a social disability, and learning how to, I guess, respect people more, that sort of thing. So they bash heads.
So kind of one of these coming of age kind of stories where both people kind of learn from each other.
That's right.
Overcome
Absolutely.
that kind of stuff. That's excellent. And we were talking earlier. You want to kind of let people know in the sense that this isn't a story that's just about a physical disability. It goes deeper than that.
Right. I wrote this play back when I was in college, and I noticed there wasn't a lot of work out there for persons with disabilities on our stages or a play that calls for that. I thought it would be great to script actually calls for that. You see a lot of disabled theater, that they call it now, and it focuses on that, and it's in the spotlight, someone in a wheelchair or whatever in the spotlight, and people think they're coming out, and they're going to watch that for an hour and a half. I like to call this integrated theater. It's just a facet of the character. He happens to have a physical disability, but the real story is about Nick and David and that relationship and a coming of age, which is the type of stories I love.
Sure. Cody, this is the first time you're directing, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I first actually directed the show in the fall. We performed here in Moncton at the Empress Theater right behind the Capitol in the fall, and that was my first time getting a chance to actually direct something. And so this is kind of I guess you could say 1.5. Same show, different kind of version of the show, and we've made it, kind of truncated it, and kind of cleaned it up a little bit for the tour. And it's really in some ways it's an even better version, I think. So even if you've seen it before, you should come out and see it again. But yeah, this is the first time directing
Is it
show.
different for you? Because I mean, I know you've acted. Obviously, we've actually worked a long time ago on a project.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
So is it different for you to kind of take the reins the director reins?
I think it's because I've been acting most of my life, so I've seen many different directors along the way, and their talents, their skills, the things they bring to the table. And so for a long time, I was always wondering, well, I don't know what I could bring to the table. I'm an actor, but it's amazing. Actors bring a lot to that table. Every director is different. Every director brings their unique skills, their unique talents. But knowing that I had that acting experience, I know things to look for that only an actor can look for. So for each scene, I mean, I'm looking at every single actor thinking, what could they do to enhance the scene? What could we do to, make the scene more interesting, to make conflict, to create a dynamic that's going to be more intriguing, more entertaining for someone to watch? And that's kind of the things I'm looking for. And of course, there's all kinds of things to look for as a director, but it's been a really awesome experience, and one that I would love to keep doing. I consider myself an actor in my heart, but I'm certainly not going to rule
the director's bug. Well, isn't every director's dream to act and every actor's dream to direct? And Steve, for your part, you played Nick, so yeah, this too cool for school guy.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you get into this character?
When I was preparing for the character, I watched a lot of the older classics. I had a lot of clips of James Dean because I knew that's who the character was modeled after. Watched Grease, of course, Cry Baby, stuff like that. And throughout all of those movies, the music, more than anything of that decade, really kind of helps me get in the character. And I know, if you were to ask Paul or Cody, 10 minutes before showtime, I've got my headphones in and I'm grooving.
To get into that kind of...
Could be Jackson 5, could be could be the Grease soundtrack, whatever happens to be. But that really helps me kind of get a feel for it. You know, that bad boy-esque greaser.
Right,
if you will.
right. Why the 60s setting? Why based in the 60s?
Well, I love that era. First of all, I'm a big fan of that type of music, and, you know, the Stones and the Byrds and all that. So I really think that has sort of a nice vibe to it. From a more of an artistic side, when I wrote it, the play set in one school year, 1968 to 69. It's a time when political correctness wasn't so relevant, I guess, as it is now. And Bad Boy Nick could get away with saying things to my character that probably wouldn't get away with saying now. So it helps on an artistic side to show the struggles of living with a physical disability and some attitudes of people. And
It was more like, I don't know, it gives you the chance to kind of put a microscope on how bad things were kind of back then, type of?
back then, and well, yeah, and I think now, I mean, from a personal experience, I still encounter that. Maybe it's not as blatant or verbally blatant, but obviously it still exists, and you know, people have certain attitudes about race or disabilities or anything like that. So the 1960s just gives you the opportunity to vocalize it. That a lot of people, unfortunately, still have that going on in their heads.
Just don't say it out
Just
loud
don't
as
say
much.
it out. Yeah.
We were talking about the music. Hone the Craft is playing. So how does that work? How they're there playing the music live as you guys perform, or during intermissions, or how does that quite fit?
Well, we have they're a house band for the night. So like I said, it goes through the span of one school year, the play does. So every time there's a shift in time period, we've been using music of the era, recorded music. This time around, we got a live house band to provide that music, which is great. So they'll be on the side in their band area. And so every time a scene changes, our audience gets to enjoy a piece from Hone the Craft, which is great. And they're hanging around after, then do a couple of sets.
Oh,
as
right
well.
on. Yeah,
So-
we actually had Ryan Langill from the band here play on the show. Great guy, great songwriter as well. So that's
They're
really
so
cool.
great, and they've gotten so into the show. So I think they're dressing up in 60s garb. And
Oh,
everything.
right on.
It's very exciting.
Right on.
Very
That's
exciting.
got to really add something neat to it too. And you guys have been touring this. So what is that like going from place to place?
Yeah, well, that's, that was
that
a good
like?
yeah. I mean it. I mean
Yeah,
it.
it's terrible. And
It's great. No, it really is. It's been a fantastic experience. If you got to get the right group of people. And directing this, obviously I had a part in who those people were, but we really do have a fantastic cast and crew. It's a very small cast and crew, only about seven, 8 of us. A couple members shift in and out for different shows, but we really do have a fantastic cast and crew, and that's the group that you're traveling with, that you see throughout that entire tour period. I mean, we only go on weekends, of course, to do the shows so far, because most of us are working full-time jobs or doing full-time other things elsewhere, so we can't commit, weeks on end to it, and it's all for us. It's all voluntary, so it's an amazing group to have, and that's what makes the biggest difference. Is that going on tour with this group, it's made it easier. It's been an exciting experience, and I think we've all really bonded over it too. So that's been awesome.
Steve, do you find it's a little bit hard knowing that you don't have the hometown crowd? I mean, going to, Fredericton, St. John, or if it's Halifax, or not in your kind of local safe Moncton. Is that different for an actor trying to gauge what the crowd's going to be like?
Yeah, I mean, the fun fact is I'm from Newfoundland, like Paul, and I've actually never performed home. So I'm not, honestly a little jazzed about getting home for the first time,
Oh,
right?
sure.
Which I guess comes next month. But every city has the show is just, it keeps it fresh, keeps us on our toes, right? No two crowds are the same. Sometimes we've got crowds that they'll laugh a lot. Every joke, every punchline, they're right there. And then we've got the crowds that hang on every word and are super engaged and interested. And of course, we love them all. So yeah, I don't think it bothers me too much.
You
not
got to
to
play
be
it
in a
out a
safe
little bit,
haven.
kind of
Yeah.
see what it's like when you get there.
Yeah, I prefer living on the edge. Let's get these new crowds.
All right, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Listen, guys. One is let's just plug it one more time.
Okay.
Roomies playing where?
Roomies is playing at the Moncton, the curling club, Beausejour Curling Club.
There it is.
And you can get tickets online at Eventbrite, or you can get tickets at the door.
The date is.
May 22nd.
May
That's this
22nd.
Sunday at 8 p.m.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Really appreciate you guys
Thanks
taking
for
the
having
time.
us.
Appreciate it.